Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter. As you know, Monster Hunter Double Cross just came out here in Japan, and I've been playing a whole lot of it. Now you may be wondering how the heck I already got to the final G rank boss, but you gotta remember that Double Cross is an expansion on top of Cross, although it is sold as a separate product. So I did have a heck of a head start, and I was able to get pretty far. Now this is the very last boss of G rank, so turn back now if you don't want to be spoiled. Then again, we don't know if this game is coming to the West or not, or when, so fingers double crossed on that. But this last boss is called Atoraru Ka, which I think is Arabic, which is Atlal, which means ruins, which obviously we saw the sort of mechanical ruins, which was that huge sort of like mega machine. Now you're probably wondering why it starts out against a Nyapteran, which is like, what, an insect, right? It looks like a praying mantis. Well, you're gonna see. So this is a very cool boss. This praying mantis is a treasure hoarding maniac, and this thing can use its special like sort of powered web to move heavy objects and to sort of control things around it. So you're gonna see it do all sorts of bizarre things, and underneath this entire battlefield is a massive structure made out of sort of like a ruin. So it's like all these types of treasures and all these things that this little mantis has been stocking up for God knows how many years. Anyways, it does have several stages to the fight, and it is a pretty long hunt as well. There was only 3 of us, so there was a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that we could have did better and probably faster, but I wanted to show you my very first hunt against it because this is kind of how you're going to see it when you play it. So I really like this monster a lot. I think this is going to go down as one of my favorite large-scale bosses, even though, again, you're looking at it now and you're going, why is he saying large-scale? What's so large about this mantis? Well, you're going to see. Another good thing to note is that this monster drops items all the time. The idea for this hunt, I think, is kind of like a treasure hunt. So all throughout it, you're going to be able to find like dropped items, which are like rare materials. You're going to be able to get tons of weathered charms and all sorts of stuff. So it's kind of like, how much treasure can I get and not get killed at the same time? So I love the thrill of it. Now here we go. Watch this. So it's conjured up its massive machine, and look at it control it with all of its power. This is insane. Now many times during the hunt you'll see me, I'm really sorry for the guys I was hunting with, these were just randoms online. You'll see me go underground or not really fight well because I'm trying to show you off the monster. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a little long, it's a little tedious, so I'm not going to comment over the entire video. But hopefully you guys will get an idea. I will chime in with a few comments here and there as it transitions from stage to stage, so sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy. Okay, now several times during this hunt there will be a message saying that you're about to get a delivery from the Gathering Hall. And what that is they're delivering a whole bunch of items including cannonballs and ballistas, and you're supposed to use these to take down the machine faster. Now we did not know this obviously, so we didn't take full advantage of it, but we did use it every here and now and there. Now if you notice, you see those little red arrows on the right hand side. There are a lot of moments in which you're able to climb up on this monster. I missed a ton of them in the first few minutes, but if you keep on watching you'll see me climb up it, in which case you'll destroy sort of like piles of rubbish. But if you hang on for a few minutes you'll see me get up there. There's tons of sort of like rubbish that you have to knock away, but once you do there are some massive mining spots where you can break apart on the monster or this thing, and then you can then farm it for weather charms and other goodies like that. Anyways, I had no idea what was going on, but here we see the arrows to mount. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on up here and over up here. There we go. And you can see someone already knocked away the rubbish, and it exposes these kind of flower petal thingies. I'm not sure what they are. I think they're just parts of the nest. But if you can break through that, it will unlock a point where you can mine. Again, lots of places. That was a weather charm there. That was nothing because it's shaking me off. So it's kind of crazy. Like, it's like the Genmaran hunt. It's like the Dalamadur hunt because you have to go around and break different parts. It's a little bit of everything from all the final bosses that we've experienced up until now. So I think it's super cool, but without really knowing what you're doing and being a cat, so it's like very small, like looking up perspective, it was a little hard for me at first to try to figure out what to do. Okay, then I think this is the final part of this one. It opens up the mouth, so you can do some mining here, and it does expose another point that you can break off and then mine for some more stuff. I did get a specific item there from the monster, so you're definitely going to want to mine. Don't feel bad about it. I did get kicked around by one of these guys because I think they were a little upset that I was collecting items, but you have to realize that's kind of the part of the hunt. I do love the Egyptian type of theme going on here. If you've seen my post on Twitter, the Prowler outfit is like a pharaoh, and you have sort of like the coffin inside as the thing that you chuck. I really love the design because I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan, and I love Egyptian stuff, of course, for history. So I think it's cool. So we're back to the Mantis, so I would call this sort of the second stage. This is a pheromone I just picked up, so I'm not going to feel bad about picking up these items because they're supposed to. I mean, it's kind of like the thing. Picked up this one and it was a weathered charm, and, and there he goes kicking me. He didn't realize that's kind of the point. He's like, what are you doing gathering when we're in the middle of a hunt? But, you know, it's all good. Anyways, let's go and whap on this Mantis and go on to the next stage. Okay, done with stage 2, on to stage 3. Here it comes. This one looks so good on Switch in 60 frames per second. You'll see a lot of small dips here. Unfortunately, I think there was a problem with the capture software, and it was showing some frame dips where I did not see the frame dips on my new 3DS. But I could imagine on a non-new 3DS, like the traditional one, I'm sure there's going to be some massive frame drops here, because there's just so much going on that I think they're really pushing the system to the max. Okay, there's the end of stage, was it 3, and on to the final stage, which is the Mantis really upset and carrying this massive, like, steel wheel. Who thought of this stuff, right? It's so creative. But this thing really hurts. Now, I am using the G3, G4, the final G rank gear for Astalos. So this is the highest amount of defense a cat can have. I'm like level 65 or something like that. Over here now it's dropping is true armor spears. So I think this is the way that you can get the very final upgrade on your armor is by farming the last boss for these. So I think that's pretty cool. It's kind of like a reward for getting this far in the hunt. But this boss hits like a brick. So if you're going in here with non-G rank or non-upgraded gear, you are going to get hurt. And it would really suck to go this far just to die. I was being very, very defensive because I wanted to show off the scene. I feel a little bad for the other players. Look at it swinging around. And I didn't want a card as well. So again, this is not a video of me playing good. It's just a video of me showing off this awesome, cool monster. If you guys are curious what weapon I'm using, I am using the Final Deviant Nargacuga, which is purple sharpness and like 184 or something attack, so super powerful and doing really good. I am using a fighter cat so I can have maximum attack stats, but I do plan on raising up my other cats and using them as well. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the hunt, and I'll come back near the end. Okay, this was too cool. I had to just not participate and stay on the ground just so I can show this off. But it has these three, it almost looks like old school Dragonators, and spinning them around in a circle and smacking in the middle. And there goes another victim. And luckily, the other hunter did the final blow during the middle of that. So that was the hunt. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Because you are kind of carving and sort of getting stuff and some dropped items in other places, you only get 3 carves on this boss. So it's not one of those big ones where you're going to be able to carve like 5 or 6 different things. So only 3. So that's kind of a disappointment. But I did pretty darn good rewards, especially considering that I don't really care what I get since I play as a prowler in this game, and you know, rare items and normal items really are kind of just scraps to me. And that's it. So I love this hunt. Let me know down in comments if you guys watch this, what you guys think about this monster, what you liked, what you didn't like. And hopefully throughout the next few weeks we'll figure out some of the cooler weapons and some better strategies for taking it down faster. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy hunting. Also, Monster Hunter Double Cross for the West!